people complain that Hanukkah has been blown out of proportion because of Christmas, that it is really a minor holiday turned major because we live in a Christian culture. That in response to all the gift giving at Christmas, we give our Jewish kids gifts all 8 nights of Hanukkah. But if we look at the Talmud, we will discover that already in the ancient period, there was a grand holiday of light at this dark time of year. The Talmud says it is meritorious to place the Hanukkah lamp outside the doorway of your home. And if you live upstairs, 2nd floor or higher, you should put it in the window that faces the street. Earlier on the same page, the Talmud says that Hanukkah lamps should be lit during rush hour, which the rabbis define as the time between sundown and when the stores close. In other words, light your Hanukkah lamps when the greatest number of people is likely to see them. A little later, the Talmud says, if a courtyard has 2 entrances, it must have a Hanukkah lamp placed at each of the 2 entrances. Why at both? So that passers-by who see no lamp at one entrance will not conclude that there's no lamp at the other entrance either. What all this means is that Hanukkah lamps were intended for public display. But why the stress at having others know that I was lighting my Hanukkah candles? Why the anxiety? The answer may lie in the fact that it is only the Babylonian Talmud that speaks at length about Hanukkah lamps. The Mishnah makes 1 or 2 references to Hanukkah lamps, and the Jerusalem Talmud is nearly silent on the subject. This suggests that the social and religious context in which Jews live had an impact on the development of Jewish ritual. So the explanation for the aggrandizing of Hanukkah in the Babylonian Talmud is that Jews lived in Babylonia among Zoroastrians, and a central feature of the Zoroastrian religion is holy fire, especially visible at this dark time of year. It is very likely that the rabbis who developed the rules of public display of Hanukkah lamps wanted to make sure that Jews were not drawn to the Zoroastrian fire celebrations and were lighting their Hanukkah lamps, so the rabbis requested public display. I even suspect that the reason the Babylonian Talmud explains Hanukkah not so much as a military victory, but as celebrating the miracle of the cruse of oil, is that the Babylonian rabbis needed a narrative to support the notion of lighting Hanukkah lamps, and the cruse of oil story does that very well. What is the lesson in all of this for us today? It is perfectly acceptable and traditional to make Hanukkah a major holiday in response to other winter holidays, like Christmas. It's a great idea to give kids gifts for 8 nights. I did it when my 3 sons were growing up, and they loved it. It totally solved the problem of Xmas envy. And this is exactly what the rabbis of the Talmud, if they were alive today, would tell us to do. So start shopping.